except sometimes right after I bought it. What a crazy day today, 1.2% to the upside for the overall markets. As we know, that is what happens in a bull market. We got a CPI print that was a nothing burger, which ended up being good, shot the rate hike odds back up to 94%, or rate cut odds back up to 94%, which ultimately is what the market seems to want. So we'll have Rigetti, we're going to have Kava after the bell here, and obviously, CRWV is going to be a big one. It's going to be wild. Brian Shannon, special guest, is going to be back after a little bit of a break. It's your market recap show. It's Sean, it's Adara. Brian Shannon is guest. Go get him.
We've got the Benzinga Pro. Thank you, Neil. We got the Benzinga Pro platform ready to go here. It's locked and loaded. We've got Adara here. Always a pleasure to be with Adara, so that should be a fun night. And we do also have, of course, Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends coming through very, very shortly. He's back, baby. Took a week off himself. Last week we had huge earnings on Tuesday, and he's back here today. So, yeah, man, a couple good movements today for sure. As right now, we wait. We've got it in our ear. We're waiting for Rigetti. What time were they all about? 4:05? I can't remember.
405, CRWV 405,
okay.
Kava's always 410.
The NASDAQ today was up over 1% and hitting all-time highs. So here we go. I'll call it up right now. It's a 3-minute chart. We'll just watch this, and once the earnings come out, then we'll start to throw it out here. What is this? I'm going to get rid of whatever that is. All right, so here we go. The Qs right now today, this is what it looks like on the daily chart. 579, so 580 right there for the triple Qs. Taking it out, nice move, ending the day on the high spot. Again, performances with such stocks as Meta. Again, look at Meta's change today. Up 3%, are you kidding me? There's Meta breaking out. They were like in a channel here for a while. Then Meta finally breaks out to the upside right now. So that's up 3.5%. Microsoft, again, up another 1.5% today as that continues to go. Some sort of a deal for Disney happening right in my ear. It doesn't look like much is going on there. Something about Marvel and all that. So maybe they're selling some of that. I don't know.
I found it.
Okay, we also had...
It's more for the small cap that's implicated that it's going to be a big deal. And that small cap is moving like crazy.
What is it?
Sorry to interrupt you. Webtoon, WBTN. They inked a deal here with Webtoon to bring 100 titles featuring characters from Marvel, Star Wars, and more to the webcomics app that is just reported by Variety. Sorry to cut you off there, Sean.
No, I was going to say, yeah, because there's no way Disney's going to give up those properties. No. So it's nice that they're going somewhere else. Probably good for Disney. Remember, I think that once a lot of these stocks, like Disney, gives their intellectual property to someone else, it just creates more advertising opportunities as well. So more people that are watching it on Webtoon will be able to see it, buy those little trinkets and whatnot. And again, you've been to Disneyland or World?
I went to World when I was a kid. I enjoyed it, but I was very sad I didn't get to meet Winnie the Pooh because he was my favorite. And as he was going into hibernation, as they call it, for the night, he just walked by, and it was like 15. I mean, I was way too old to be upset, but 15-year-old Adara was like. But yeah, I went once.
Like, what's up, Winnie? What's up, Winnie? Yeah, I was there a lot. Went to the one in Florida. Which one is that one?
World.
That's World. Yeah. So I was there. I think probably 6, 7, or 8 years old.
Yeah, that's a better age to go to Disney.
I don't know. I didn't really have any obsessions. I liked. Was it Thunder Mountain or what's the one?
I think one? Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. That's right. The one here in Wonderland is called Thunder Run.
Yes, Thunder Run. Yeah, my grandma went with us in Space Mountain, and she was like, "Why did you guys make me do this?" She did not like Space Mountain, and I think it was too much for
really. Yeah, because it's inside woman. And then all of the lights.
And it's like a lot happening.
Yeah, poor 60-year-old woman. I'm almost there. Okay, so right here again, Google up 1.5% today. We did get that story about how Perplexity potentially throwing in a bid there for Chrome, and we're just going to figure that all out. I mean, I think someone needs to throw in a bid for Perplexity. But right there, Google, look at this Google chart as well, man. 2:05. Right? Just the NASDAQ, but even the SPY. So here's CPI right here. Comes in at 2.7 versus 2.8, and then boom goes the dynamite as it gets going early. Fades all the way back, which got me thinking that, hey, this market was probably a short, and that's where we sort of got thrown off a little bit early by that kind of a thought. But no, the SPY just watches out for this 50-period moving average all the way back up to the upside. Some of today's gains, of course, brought to you by the banking sector as they catch a bid here today. David Solomon from Goldman Sachs, actually. So JP Morgan still up that 1.5%. But Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon, of course, and they call him DJ David or whatever.
He said that he should go to be a DJ.
Yeah. So no, because he was a DJ.
Was he actually a DJ?
Yeah. So the whole point is that and again, Goldman Sachs up 3.5%. No, he used to throw parties and DJ.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he's just throwing some shade at that, and people were like, why don't you focus on the stock instead of being a DJ?
DJ D-Soul was his stage name. Oh my God, I love this.
Yeah. So that was actually an official thing right there. Is Rigetti out right now is the question I'm going to ask you, because right now Rigetti is tanking right there to the downside. I don't want to say tanking because you're only down 6%. The implied move for Rigetti today, 12%. So there it is, a nice move down. Adara will sort of go through the earnings, and when it comes out, she'll give it to us.
I will, yeah.
Sometimes there's whisper numbers that hit, and it's not actually out yet. But if you look here, Rigetti ran into a wall around $17 here on the daily. So we'll have to watch it. This is actually a 900 period moving average, so not exactly a daily, but does give us all the way back here with the live movements as well. So if Rigetti's going to go anywhere, it looks like 14 to 14.30 would be a good little level. And here it comes right back up again. I'm going to switch over to a 1 minute chart just to get a little bit of a better read for everybody on RGTI. So there's the move down. It hits 15.10. So that's pretty much exactly what we're talking about on the 50 period moving average. So there it comes in, bringing it back in. How many minutes are in a day? If we figured that out, we can use that.
Hi, Rigetti.
Okay, you have the Rigetti number, so what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm seeing here, apparently they missed on both losses of 13 cents per share versus a 7-cent expected loss. They missed by 86%. EPS down 86% year over year. Revenue, $1.801 million versus revenue estimates of $1.87 million. That's down by 42% year over year. Although the revenue is up on a quarterly basis, but rarely do we care about sequential revenue. So that is a double miss here for RGTI. As far as I'm seeing, I also want to mention here, Webtoon, WBTN. It's always weird when you get news about a company right before they report. So they did have that Disney deal, I guess, is reported by Variety, and then they report a double earnings beat, including unexpected profits. So great look here for WBTN. Unfortunately, not so great for RGTI. I'm currently looking into CRWV. I'm going to throw it back to Sean.
Yeah, CoreWeave is out right now. So 1.2 billion revenue there for CoreWeave. So the estimate 1.08 billion. So right now CoreWeave 1.08 billion is the estimate. It looks like they come out. The loss is of 60 cents. So they lose a lot more than we were thinking. I just heard in my ear loss of 60 minus 60 cents versus 20 cents. So it's not a great number there, Adara, but maybe we can break it down.
So some estimates I'm seeing, we're saying they lost like 49 cents, because sometimes the estimates I get are not the same ones that Street runs with. Either way, they did miss. 60 cents were reported here, losses of 60 cents per share. Revenue, $1.213 billion. That is a beat over estimates of $1.08 billion. EPS up 63% year over year despite the miss. Revenue up 207% year over year. So this actually is not that bad of a report, despite how it might initially seem. Playboy also reported earnings as we wait for Kava. Kava's not coming out till 4:10. PLBY not doing anything. Sometimes this moves. I pulled up the chart because I was curious. Earnings per share in line, sales beat. Who cares about Playboy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big, huge name anymore, but CoreWeave is right now just spiked up to the day's highs of 155 right there for CRWV. I do want to make a quick announcement here because Rigetti was not a good number there. They missed, so they go minus 13 cents versus 6 cents, minus 6 cents. So misses on the EPS, and sales 1.8 billion, missing 1.88 billion. So Rigetti not great. We'll see if there's any sort of a flow through here with QBTS. Again, D-Wave making the move to the downside. Not really. And the other name is IonQ right there. So we'll see what's happening right now. This down 4% on the day, but only down 0.35 right now. So, you know, the big one who now we wait for is Kava. So we do have them all. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We will have Brian Shannon on in just a couple minutes. And I want to remind everybody that today's show, of course, the recap show brought to you by Global X. Make sure you go check them out. betapro.ca is where you want to go for that one. Go find them out. 3 times levered ETFs over there for SPY and NASDAQ and whatnot. So yeah, man, the CoreWeave, everyone wants to talk about CoreWeave, so why not? Right now, EPS, 27 cents in the red, missing the 17 cents in the red. So they'll go and miss on EPS. They will also beat on sales, though. They got sales of 1.21 billion versus a beat of 1.08 billion. So
Kava's tanking. I don't have.
Yeah, they went up to the upside there. Now they come back down in. So now we wait for the guide. I don't see a guide on CoreWeave. If and when it comes out, we'll get that. But Kava earnings are now out. I was warning to the downside. Okay. Yeah, the 1 minute chart gapped right down here to $71. There goes there goes Kava all the way back in. Its 52-week low right there is $70, and it looks like that's coming into play right now as well for Kava. Nice move to the downside. As soon as we get those numbers, we'll come with you.
Yeah.
We'll come with them. But, you know, we looked at CMG before, and we talked about how bad that stock's been. As you can see, CMG makes a 52-week low just a couple of days ago down at 41.50, and right now 42.76. But CMG downside might have been sort of the bellwether there for Kava. Kava right now down 14%. When we have it, we'll flip over to Adara for that one. But now a nice little move down there. It's CoreWeave that's been up and down again today.
Kava earnings.
You know, the funny thing is about CoreWeave, we're expecting 16%. We'll go to you in Kava in a minute. We are expecting 16% on CoreWeave. Now, again, we'll get that guide, we'll get the talk, we'll get the earnings call. But for right now, CoreWeave flat. Pretty much. I mean, we get it up 7%, 6.5% today, but right now in the after hours, only down, well, now down 1%. But all right, let's go over Kava because that's a pretty good move downside right now. Wow, even getting worse, Adara, down 20% now for Kava. What do those numbers look like?
Report.
What do they look like?
To let you guys know, CoreWeave, someone was asking what time the call was, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Perfect.
Let's get to Kava. So I want to start with the bad in terms of what's bringing it down. Same store sales for Q2, they were up 2.1%. Guidance, or I guess their estimates, they were looking for 6.5% increase in same-store sales. So their same-store sales growth way slower than expected, like way slower. Then let's talk about their guidance. They're seeing same-store sales growth going forward between 4 and 6% versus expected growth of 7.67%. So not only did they grow less this quarter, they're expecting less growth next quarter as well. Q2 earnings, let's get into the actual numbers now. Adjusted earnings of 16 cents versus 13 cents expected. So that's a beat. Revenue was also a beat. Revenue was actually, looks like a miss, 280.6 million versus 285.6 million expected. So revenue miss, sales beat, same store sales really seems to be the biggest issue here with CAVA. And I want to tell you guys too, Scott Bessent is talking now, and I bring this up because some of the things he's saying are pretty wild for the market. He says that the Fed should think about a 50 basis point cut in September, that they should have cut in June, and that he hopes Stephen Moran, who of course is Trump's appointee to take over Kugler's spot, he hopes he'll be approved by the Senate before the September meeting. They are really, really gunning for that 50 basis point September cut right now, Sean. And
yeah. Oh, they want 50 points.
Yeah, Scott Bessent says they want 50 now.
Yeah, well,
because they should have cut in June.
Yeah, well, Mr. Too Late is going to figure out what is the right play to do or not. Okay, so again, CoreWeave will parse through those data, those numbers, and if anything catches our eye, we are now down 5% at the lows of the session right now in the after hours anyways. You're giving back the whole move in the day. The day was only up 6.5%. There goes CoreWeave right now. If we go into like maybe let's go into a 60-minute chart, just to have a quick little look at this. Yeah, so you're just back to where you were sort of at the beginning of last week right now, back into 140 on CoreWeave. You know, it's been a great hold down here at $100. I don't know if this earnings gets us back into that level because the earnings weren't horrible on CoreWeave. We had 27 cents miss versus 17 and the sales beat. So they're definitely not operating properly by the EPS miss, but sales higher there. So we worry a little bit now about CoreWeave now being down 5% and giving it all back from today. But again, we're just going back to where we were last week. So I don't want to sort of push too much into this one. We can see if it's going to affect anything like in NVIDIA. I doubt it. Yeah, NVIDIA flat there. NVIDIA up roughly on the day right now. Kava down 20. We saw the bounce come from Big Bear AI today. Maybe we get something similar for that on Kava tomorrow. But again, with all the calls happening between 5 to 5:30, we'll wait to hear more. But Adara's got more right now. Yeah,
so like I said with Kava, it was a revenue some people are saying it's revenue beat, some people are saying it's a revenue miss. So I'm just going to say the number, $278.2 million. I have seen both in terms of, like, I guess compared to estimates, so I'm not going to talk too much here. But it's up, either way, it's up 20.3% year over year. EPS was a beat, 16 cents versus 14 cents expected. Same store sales, like I said, the growth was lower, but let's talk here about their guidance for same store growth. Bit lower here. They are expecting to open new stores, and in fact, their net new openings were really good. It's an increase of 16% in a year-over-year basis in terms of how many stores they have. Now, their profit margin this year was a bit lower year-over-year, Sean. This quarter, 26.3% restaurant level profit margin versus 26.3% versus 26.5% on a year-over-year basis. So slight tightening there in terms of their restaurant level profit margin, and of course, way lower than expected same-store growth, and their guidance for the same-store growth also pretty rough.
Okay, great. Great little talk there. We also remember we were looking at Rigetti today as well, and that's making the move down in here right now. Rigetti shows up with 13 cents, missing 6 cents, so minus on both sides, minus 13 cents with a miss in sales as well of 1.8 versus 1.88. But they're trying to go back up to Greensville right now. So again, in a double top and bottom miss, Rigetti looks like it wants to go higher. And then just quickly, Dara just mentioned Kava.
Over CoreWeave.
But CoreWeave, yuck, right now down 7 and going just a little bit lower. We're going to have Brian Shannon on momentarily, and we'll talk to him maybe about some of these earnings plays. I do want to talk to Brian, of course, and I think he knows this. He and I went back and forth a little bit today, but not much. Wow, what a move on Ethereum. I mean, I want to talk to Brian about this one. Where could it stop? Where could it go? Ethereum right now near all-time highs, and obviously ETHA, this ETF, all back to all-time highs as well right now. So there it goes, man. Ethereum and ETHA still going here in the after hours, up to 34.50. What a great day for them. Up another 1%, up 6% here as we go. But that's what's going on with earnings. Again, just a quick check back in on CoreWeave, and then we're going to go over, wow, still a downside play here for CRWV going lower. But remember, we had Circle earnings this morning, and if you could see what Circle did, maybe I'll call up a 5-minute chart just to get a good look here. So Circle came with, again, it looked like a good report, Adara, as we started off the day at 6:30 at 163. We opened up the day at 187, then we close again at 163.
Well, here's why.
Yeah.
And I don't want to steal Brian's spotlight, but we did reject in the 15-minute chart the AV WAP from the, I believe it was the actual IPO. It was either IPO or the high. I think it was from the IPO. But anyway, we rejected an AV WAP, and because we were coming into the AV WAP, I was always thinking short on Circle.
Good. Perfect.
So I mean, I will say sometimes, of course, as Brian Shannon can say a lot better than myself, these signals can really give you indicators of what direction to go. Because I saw that pre-market, I was already thinking short. It gives you the clean rejection, and then it really did not come back all day, as you just said. I don't know what kind of, I have to look at CoreWeave's technicals a bit better. I don't want to opine on that, but I do think sometimes, regardless of the numbers, we talk about this a lot, the difference between the fundamentals and the earnings themselves and what the market wants to do with them. Often those things are different.
I mean, I don't know who else better to call on. We're going to be calling on Brian in just a second. But before I do that, just real quick, Kava down 21% and going lower right now. So there it is right now, 66.80. It looks nasty right here for CoreWeave. I mean, there it is. Or sorry, for Kava as it goes to the downside. A quick little look on CoreWeave. That's getting worse as we speak as well. That is now down 7%, giving everything back. And then the last one will be Rigetti. The one that double misses, you know, on both the top and the bottom is flat. So, you know, sometimes you never know what earnings are. A lot of this is guesswork. Or is it guesswork? I mean, when you have somebody that is locked in, somebody that reads technicals and charts the way our next guest does, sometimes it's simple as following your plan. Let's bring him in right now. It is Brian Shannon. Hey, Brian, it's been a minute. How are you doing? I like the gray sweater. Or no, that's a polo, golf shirt.
It's not really a sweater, yeah, right.
Uh-oh, I don't hear him,
John. How you been? Good trip.
All right, flip off, and maybe we can get him back. I don't know if everybody can hear you or not. Okay, good. Speak again. Try again, Brian.
Good trip to Boston you had?
There he is. Okay. I can't hear you, but we're going to get that fixed up real quick. Let's talk about something that you want to talk about, FTAI. I think you're fine. We've been going through changes here, so we'll fix it on our end. No worries at all. I did want to get to you about a stock that you've been sort of tweeting about, and you did mention it to me as well, FTAI Aviation. So I'm going to flip it over to you. We can still screen share and do all that, and we'll work on your audio. Everybody can still hear you. I just can't. What do you want to talk about FTAI?
Well, this is one that reported earnings a week and a half ago. We saw a big gap up here, and this is, of course, over on the right, the 30-minute time frame, and on the left is the daily time frame. So we got back above the 50, the 20, the 200-day moving average, and when you look to a weekly time frame, Sean, what you see here is that this stock experienced a pretty significant correction. If they didn't scare you out down here, then they wore you out, and now the buyers are back in control. So I purchased the stock just this morning at 138 and change, and my initial stop is under here, and it's looking like it could probably make a run up towards this 160-ish level initially, at least, and we'll see what it does from there. But we've just got a super strong market with momentum all over the place, like crypto, as you've mentioned as well.
Yeah, I want to welcome Brian Shannon again from Alpha Trends. Thank you so much for joining us one more time here. And you can see his handles there at the bottom. All right, Brian, I don't know. We always talk about crypto, and I think it's appropriate right now as we know that over 50% of our viewers hold some crypto. And if you're going to hold something, you and I for sure talk about this. And I know you have a note on XRP as well. Maybe we can get into that. But it's just sort of those big names again. It's the Bitcoin. It's Ethereum starting to go. All these companies with the trusts opening up. We have Tom Lee with BMNR. I don't know. You're probably familiar with that as well. Quickly, what's your opinion on some of these? BMNR, we have SBET as well. Are you trading any of those, or are you staying with ETHA and maybe the coins themselves?
I'm staying with the underlying. I kind of agree with Neil said something that he's not really a fan of these treasury plays. Right. I think if you're going to own it, you just own it. There has been a little bit of outperformance here just because of the hype with BMNR, but that spread, the premium will kind of close at some point, I suppose. Right now, actually, I think the one that's likely to catch up the most is Solana, and that's my second largest position. I've got a larger position in XRP Ripple right now. And then Solana, I've got a small piece of Bitcoin and just a little bit of the Ethereum left.
Okay, so right now, Solana, you just think that that's a get-up play. I mean, we haven't even really heard. I think there's a couple companies that maybe have a treasury with Solana, but maybe that's the next one to get pushed. Is that something where you think, like, let's just say tomorrow, a figure like a Tom Lee, I don't know who that could possibly be, maybe Chamath or something.
Sean, you and me, let's do it.
Okay, so we have to get the symbol TTVL. Once we get that, then we'll put it into a Solana trust. But maybe you and I should think of something. Is that something that we just? Yeah, is
just call it Brian Shannon and Sean Katina, BSSC.
Okay, there we go. So maybe we have something there.
That's
Thank you, Adara. You can join as well, maybe, Adara. But as we go forward, is that a trade that like you just want to jump on the next time we hear something about Solana and then maybe buy that trust or buy the Solana coin themselves? Like, how excited are we if we hear something like that? Maybe an XRP, maybe a Cardano, I don't know. Is that what we're doing right now? Is like, I kind of feel like these are kind of being treated a little bit like meme coins in a way where we just get so excited, but there is some underlying value there. What do you think the play is the next time we hear another trust opening up?
I think you're going to see the same exact thing, Sean, what you just said.
Yes, okay.
You know, people are just going to chase it and say, well, we saw what happened with MSTR. We saw what happened with BMNR. This is free money is, you know, the way people think about it. And they'll all just pile onto it. So, I mean, it'd be great to see that in Solana. I don't know what the case is. I don't know what the case is for Ethereum, but, you know, it seems to be the trend. And where there's a trend, it just, you know, people pile on. Just like we've seen with the levered stocks. I mean, we have every day we've got new ones coming out. We just saw, you know, Circle just came out with one 2 days ago.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk to you a little bit about Circle because Circle came up with some earnings there. And again, I think if we like Ethereum, they're both smart contracts, Ethereum and Solana. So yeah, if you like one, maybe you do like the other. Adara nailed the trade today on the short side of Circle, talking about the anchored VWAP there. You know, I have this is just a 900 period. It's not a daily, of course, because it's 900 just to show us the after hours movement. But we did open up Circle at $64. Its high within weeks was $290. Of course, we got really carried away there to the upside. But now we've sort of come back in, and 150 seems to be holding now for Circle. Do you see anything on this? I mean, off earnings, they had a nice run today, but to fade all the way back in. So for some of us that maybe like these plays in the crypto space, what do we think about Circle? Can you do some chart work for us?
Yeah, of course. And I'm sorry, as Adara had noted, you know, it ran not only into the anchor from the IPO, that green line right here, which has been support several times, and then it turned to resistance. And today we saw that was also the same exact location as the declining 20-day moving average. So people who bought into that, you know, obviously regretted it. And by the way, that's the symbol for that double one, CCUP, that just came out a couple days ago. But I think that now that you've seen prior support in here turn to resistance today, at least in the near term, it's going to take a little bit of time to probably work its way back up into that area, do some work in here, and then if it can, you know, do that, like here's what it would look like on the daily time frame, then I think you'll get another